Brittani wants all the smoke from Meredith, but can she back it up? I think not. Let's break it all down in today's recap.
But I'll be on it always, always and ever.
Hey queens! Welcome back to my queen cave. My name is Shelby, queen of the queen cave, and in here I drop recaps and reviews of my favorite TV shows and movies, commentary on any topic I'd find interesting. I will have my first queen chat coming up real soon in the next few days, and deep dives into Black history, Black culture, and icons that helped shape that culture. If that is your vibe, hit the subscribe. You already know the deal. Today we are recapping The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 8, Loose Lips Sink Friendships. So now we're starting with the next morning, and we see Bronwyn waking up from sleeping on one of the pool chairs at the top deck. When I saw that, I was like, girl, what are you doing? You couldn't have any other option. She slept on the very top, and she said it rained. That's what you get for not wanting to just sleep in the bed next to Brittani. I know she's whack and whatnot, but that's the only option, Bronwyn. But she said it was so uncomfortable. Now she's trying to make sure the crew can get her some liquids to get her going. Whitney and Heather then start recapping the drama that happened from last night. And we get a little flashback of the conversation that Heather and Lisa had when she was sitting at the bottom of the deck. Heather is telling Lisa she believes she's either the source of the dirt or she has access to it because she's always the one that has the most information, and she's always doing all this digging and being sneaky about everything. And Lisa is crying, playing the victim, and she's so adamant she's not the source of the dirt. She has nothing to do with that. In her confessional, Heather says she wanted Lisa to just admit she was part of it, or at least own up to anything else she's done in the past and say that she's going to be working on those things to better the friendship. And at this point, Heather is questioning if she even wants to continue on with the friendship with Lisa, knowing how untrustworthy and vindictive she always is about the girls, digging up information, exposing all these secrets and whatnot, so she's not really feeling Lisa at this point. And now we get over to Lisa and Meredith. They're still in the bed, and Lisa's over here still going on about how she thinks Heather is so wrong for trying to make her admit to something she, quote, didn't do. And in her confessional, she says she hopes Heather slept on it, realizes she was wrong, comes to apologize to her, and then they can move on. And that's not going to happen, Lisa, because Heather is real adamant you are the source of the dirt. She says that over and over and over again. She then accuses Meredith of not supporting her enough, or the support she gives her is not equal to the support Meredith gives Lisa. And that has Meredith pissed off because she thinks that she has been doing a lot of supporting Lisa, giving her the benefit of the doubt, always defending her when she's not around. So she does not appreciate the fact that Lisa does not acknowledge the support that she has been giving her. Now over to Bronwyn. She explains she did not feel comfortable sleeping next to Brittani because of all the tension they have right now. Brittani is pissed off that Bronwyn threw her under the bus for talking shit about Lisa and Meredith, and Bronwyn just thinks Brittani is annoying overall. So now the girls come together in the middle deck to gather for breakfast, and everyone's chatting, laughing, having a good time, and in comes Lisa, and the music scratches, the music stops. The music stops. Everyone stops talking, and they're just looking at her like, the whole vibe was killed immediately. It was awkward, and Lisa sits down, tries to talk to the girls, and she notices that everyone is kind of looking at her sideways. So Heather is the first one to break the awkwardness by getting up to go check on breakfast. That has Angie and Whitney following her so they can go change into their bathing suits. So now it's just Brittani and Lisa by themselves, and Brittani looks over at Lisa, and she asks her, like, are you okay? How are you doing? Are we good? Are you still mad at Heather? Like, what's going on? And Lisa tells her, like, yeah, I'm good. We don't have a problem. If we did, I would tell you, which is a lie, but anyway. And then she says, as far as Heather, I do love Heather, but I just think that she's really wrong for trying to, you know, the whole thing, trying to have me admit to something I didn't do, blah, blah, blah. And then for some reason, Brittani then changes the topic over to Bronwyn, and she goes and talks about how mad she is that Bronwyn threw her under the bus after she was talking shit about Lisa and Meredith behind their backs. And she believes that Bronwyn was only trying to be chummy friendly with her and go shopping, make it seem like they were cool, to get her to open up and divulge this information so she can then take it back and throw her under the bus later. Brittani, please be fucking for real. If you can be manipulated that easily, there is something wrong. But I think this is more of an accountability. Like, how about taking some accountability for talking shit behind people's backs and not flipping it on Bronwyn as if she did this whole mastermind plan? If her taking you out to go shopping, or you guys going shopping, was enough to get you to, quote, divulge information as if you weren't gonna do that anyway, that just sounds stupid. But okay. And Lisa says, you shouldn't be surprised, Brittany. She's done this before. You should already be taking accountability for the fact that you just walked right into her trap. So that's your fault. And then she says that Bronwyn lied about the whole Gwen's grandparent situation. And she says that Bronwyn actually reached out to her and asked her specifically if she could go meet up with Gwen's grandparents and be a sort of middleman for them. And she shows the receipts. We get a screenshot of the receipts of that, which I don't know what this is proving. I like, it's not like we already didn't know this was a conflict. We already didn't know this was the thing that Bronwyn wanted her, Gwen, to meet her grandparents, X, Y, and Z. I don't know why this is relevant, Lisa. Once again, you are digging up a whole bunch of bullshit that means nothing. Next. But as they are talking and chatting and doing all this shit talking, Bronwyn is at the top deck and she can hear everything they're saying. She's just listening like, okay, cool. I got you. Thank you. So now Mary and Angie join Bronwyn on the top deck. And before they start talking, Bronwyn tells them, let's go ahead and move over here because I can hear all their conversation and they're right there. I want to move so they don't hear anything I'm about to say about them. The girls then ask her why she didn't want to sleep with Brittany. Bronwyn tells them that Brittany was mad because she threw her under the bus for talking shit. So Bronwyn just wanted to go ahead and sleep on the top deck on the pool chairs instead. So now the girls finally sit down for breakfast and they're all chatting again, having a good time, vibing out. And Lisa and Brittany are the last ones to come in there. And when Lisa comes in there, she makes her presence known. Again, the girls get silent. They stop talking. They look at her like, oh great, the wet blanket's here, time to stop having fun. Like, the whole vibe was ruined. Heather then lets the girls know what is on the agenda for their activities for the day, and Bronwyn then turns to Mary and she asks her if it would be okay for her to sleep with her and Angie, and Mary immediately shuts her down. She's like, nope, that's too many people in the bed, I'm good.
Can you record me real quick? Can you record me real quick?
Get somebody else to do it.
Brittany tells Bronwyn she can sleep in their bed. You know, I won't have a problem. I won't make it an issue, XYZ. And Bronwyn's like, no, I saw you were trying to have someone from the crew in your room last night, so I'm good. And I was like, huh? She was trying to sneak someone from the crew in her room last night, Brittany? What's going on? I'm actually not kind of surprised. I feel like that's kind of on brand for Brittany, but okay. Brittany is sitting there with her face cracked and she tries to deny it. She doesn't know what else to say. And we get a flashback of last night of Brittany being a thirsty pick-me, and she was trying to flirt with Captain Jason, talking about some, oh, can I get a tour? You know, I'm just really trying to have an excuse to get out of here. And I was like, get out of here and do what, Brittany? I don't see anyone else asking Captain Jason for a tour but you. It's real interesting. And Bronwyn points it out, like, you use that specific language, I'm trying to have an excuse to get out of here. Like, what did you mean by that? And Meredith then chimes in saying that she also saw somebody coming out of Brittany's room real late, and she's like, that's not a good idea. And then we get a flashback of last night of Brittany having Captain Jason go to her room to help her fix the air conditioning. Brittany, you're not fooling a soul. We all know this was a scheme and a plot, a plan to have Captain Jason come into your room late night, fix the air conditioning so you can slither in there and seduce him, make it seem like you weren't gonna... You're trying to make it seem like it was all innocent, like, I didn't know how to work the air conditioner, I need help. Bitch, please. Lisa then cuts in and she tells the girls to stop dogpiling on Brittany. It's not right. She's like, this is so stupid. Captain Jason would not be interested in Brittany at all. It's gonna be a hard no. That had me weak because Lisa was dead serious, and you pan over to see Brittany's face and it's cracked and she looks embarrassed, and I was like, this is so awkward and embarrassing. And then she wants to act like she cares about morals all of a sudden, and she tells the girls, oh, you shouldn't do that to people, as if she's so above the negativity, so above talking bad about people, all this extra shit, all the stuff that she's been doing this entire time. I was like, please don't make it seem like, Lisa, we're stupid and we don't know your track record, please. Bronwyn immediately clocked Lisa in her hypocrisy, saying that she heard her and Brittani talking shit about her from the top deck. And she is now screaming at Lisa, telling her that she needs to keep Gwen and her grandparents out of her mouth after they already agreed at their one-on-one lunch to stop talking about each other's family, and that was already off the table. Lisa then denies talking about Gwen. And then she says she tries really hard not to talk about people's kids, and she tries to do her best to do the right thing.
Huh?
What? Lisa, who are you fooling? Like, this entire episode, she did damage control as much as possible, and it flopped. We already know who you are and how you act, Lisa. Like, it was so just awkward trying to watch her this entire episode, make it seem like she has these morals and she prioritizes treating people with respect and compassion and consideration. That's not you, Lisa. Please drop the act. Angie now adds on, and she says that Lisa basically is a fake ass bitch that'll be in your face, make it seem like your friends will dig up all this information to then expose you and then make it seem like she doesn't do anything. She then exposes a comment that Lisa said about Todd, a rumor, quote. She said that Todd was allegedly making out with one of her very hot friends, quote, and he was farting the whole time. Huh? Like, where does this come from, and why is Todd always on her main #1 target list? Like, I was wondering, just like Bronwyn asked later, Todd is always wondering why he is the punchline. I'm also wondering, why is Todd the first person you think about when you want to go for the jugular for Bronwyn? Like, what has Todd done to you? Like, although I know Todd is whack sometimes, I don't remember him doing anything wrong to Lisa, so I'm wondering why Todd is always being brought up from Lisa's end. Lisa, of course, tries to deny the allegations, and then Angie gives us a rundown on how this whole thing came about. So she says after the Clarity luncheon, quote, that Lisa had with all the poster boards of her lawsuits that said dismissed on it, she said after that the girls went to Lisa's bar or Lisa's restaurant or something to actually eat, and she said behind her hair that Todd was rumored to be making out with someone's very hot friend and was farting the entire time. It's basically how she said it. So now, of course, Bronwyn is pissed. She is seeing red, and she's talking about some fuck you, we're over, you're dead to me. And I was like, oh, it's heating up. Lisa first denies that she said that, right? And then in her confessional, she says that she believes the rumor because it came from a credible source that she trusts. So you did do that. Why are you in these people's faces? Oh, I guess we already know because you're two-faced and fake as fuck. But I'm just saying, like, this is all gonna come out at the end of the season. I don't understand why you think you can play this game. Like, it's not all on camera. But she says in her confessional that she believes it because it came from a credible source and X, Y, and Z. So now, of course, as we said, Bronwyn is pissed the fuck off. She wants nothing to do with Lisa. And in Bronwyn's confessional, she says her anger is not coming from the fact that she believes the rumor is true. She's mad because this proves to her that Lisa is going around spreading the rumors. And I would agree, because you just admitted you got this information from a, quote, credible source, and you told that information to Angie. And then Lisa has the audacity to be mad at Angie. And she says, and on top of that, and Lisa is calling Angie an untrustworthy bitch. Oh my gosh, you cannot make this shit up. I'm thinking, Lisa, are you kidding? You have zero self-awareness. Either that, or you just really want to gaslight the fuck out of us to believe that we believe anything that's coming out of your fucking mouth. Are you kidding me? She's an untrustworthy bitch. Then what the fuck are you? Huh? Oh, I didn't think so. Next! So now we get over to Bronwyn. She's in her room by herself, sitting on her bed, and she's just reflecting on the warnings Todd gave her about even coming on this trip and being around these people and Lisa, and how he told her not to come back complaining once her and Lisa get into it on the trip. And in her confessional, she says that it's just really hard to be around Lisa without getting out of character, and she really does not want to get back into that mode, but she knows that what would make Lisa really upset is her having the time of her life. So she intends to live her best life on the trip to get back at Lisa in a way, which I'm just like, I would rather you just have a good time on the trip, Bronwyn, and focus on having a good time because you want to have a good time. Not to spite Lisa, but I guess. Next! So now the girls hop on a smaller boat to then get over to shore so they can chill on the beach, do some snorkeling, do some swimming, X, Y, and Z. Angie goes up to Bronwyn and tells her she acknowledges she hasn't been as supportive to her as she should be, and she feels really bad about the Todd rumor. Bronwyn says she regrets getting out of character when she was talking to Lisa, but she does not regret what she said. And then she said that she's always trying to figure out where she goes wrong in these type of situations. She's always trying to be self-aware of how she could do better, which I love that for her. And then points out how Lisa is the complete opposite, doesn't give a damn, doesn't want to take any accountability or do any self-growth as she's over there just getting a nice old massage. The girls are taking this time to swim, snorkel, have a grand old time, and on the beach, Lisa is talking to Mary, and she's just giving her the rundown on the conversation her and Meredith had that morning about her feeling like Meredith isn't as supportive as she thinks that she should be. And as they're talking, Meredith comes over to sit right next to Lisa, and now Lisa is talking to Meredith, and Meredith feels like she does a lot of defending Lisa in public and in private, and she really does not understand why the girls care so much about her and Lisa's friendship dynamic. Mary says she feels like their friendship is, quote, bizarre, and in her confessional, she says that Meredith does not stick up for Lisa as much as she should with them being friends and all, and she has noticed that over the years. Lisa continues on and says that she feels she does a great job defending herself on her own, but sometimes she wants some backup from one of her friends. And Meredith goes, well, I will support you and back you up when I agree with you, and when I don't, I won't. And then she threatens to remove any support she does give Lisa because of how unappreciative she is. And then this gets Mary annoyed for some reason. She then tells Meredith that she's boring, she isn't a good friend, and she should go find a story or go do something else more productive. And that gets Meredith annoyed, and then she leaves the conversation and she goes out to do her own thing. And I'm really confused why Mary cares so much about the two of them. I think this is more of Mary being resentful towards Meredith because of the breakdown of their friendship, and this is kind of being more of like that, like a projection type of thing. But I didn't understand why she was getting so mad between the two of them. I'm like, if this is more of a personal issue, Mary, shouldn't you bring her to the side for a separate issue? I guess not. Next, so the girls come together after they get done swimming and snorkeling, and Bronwyn and Heather are vibing. They're having a grand old time together, and in Heather's confessional, she acknowledges how much fun that And in her confessional, Heather acknowledges how much fun lately she's been having with Bronwyn, and she does admit that she's been stubborn with letting go of a grudge she's been holding against Bronwyn. So it's cool to see Heather make that type of growth in that area, because I don't feel like the issues they had were that serious in the first place, but it is nice to see them having a good time together. So the girls now play a drinking and racing game, and it's Brittany's turn, and as she's coming back from having to drink the so the girls are now playing a drinking racing game, and as Brittany is coming back from having to neck down her drink, So the girls are now playing this drinking racing game, and they have to go down and race to the end and then grab a drink, neck it, quote, and sprint all the way back. So as Brittany is sprinting back after necking the drink, she trips face first into the sand. Into the sand. I was so weak. Let's watch it in slow-mo. That was the best part of the whole episode. That shit was so hilarious. Alright, so the girls get back to the yacht so they can get ready for their zombie dinner. And Angie and Bronwyn want to be silly. They dress up in these inflatable costumes that Bronwyn brought. Like, who thinks of this other than Bronwyn? And I'm just like, girl, okay. So they get dressed up, right? And I I specifically hear Angie tell Mary, who was sitting on the bed, because the girls are now dressed up and they're coming out of the room. Bronwyn comes out first and Angie's coming out next. She's in the doorway and Angie tells Mary to come hold the door open for them, right? And as Angie comes out of the doorway, she has her hand on the door, like on the door opening. The door slams and it slams on Angie's fingers. Oh my gosh, it was hard as fuck. I felt so bad for her because she was bleeding a lot. I was like I think it was her fingernail, like her whole fingernail came off. Like it was really bad. And I'm thinking back like, hello, Mary, do you not feel bad? Because she did ask you to hold the door open. I mean, obviously, I don't think she did it on purpose, but I'm just saying that could have avoided that. But I hope she's okay. The girls sit down for dinner. Everyone is dressed up in their zombie costumes, their blood, their special effects, and the crew did a really good job of decorations. I was really impressed. Mary tells Heather her breath reeks of alcohol. She said, yeah, it reeks. Ooh. Mary doesn't give a fuck. She has zero filter. She didn't give a damn. Heather then asked the girls if they've called back home to check in with their families, and Bronwyn goes, yep, I sure did, and they did not like to hear what I had to say, especially Todd. That's when she says that Todd is confused why he is always the punchline, and why Gwen is always being brought up as a topic. Lisa then says, as of today, I won't talk about Gwen or Todd ever again, and I deeply sincerely apologize, Bronwyn.
Right.
And Bronwyn's looking at her like, she says that because she is a respectful person, she does want to acknowledge that person that is speaking to her, but she knows that everything Lisa is saying is bullshit. Lisa then goes in her confessional. Get this. She says that she didn't tell Angie that information for her to go back and blast it to the group to humiliate Bronwyn. And then she says she would never do that. She is never trying to do that on purpose to hurt anyone. And she would never do that to humiliate anyone on purpose. Wow. Again, Lisa thinks we're all idiots, that we don't know and see exactly through her bullshit, and we know this is all a whole bunch of lies. She is now dubbed the new lying liar who lies of Salt Lake City, because there is no way you think we are buying any of this shit you're selling, Lisa. You're gonna tell us you do not purposefully humiliate or try to humiliate the girls in any way when that is the main thing you are allegedly, quote, doing by digging up these dirty secrets and exposing them to everyone? What do you call that? I think it's really interesting how much Lisa wants to backtrack and act like it's going to stick. Like you're in way too deep at this point to try to make it seem like you're above it all. You're above the messiness. You're above the drama. You would never do that. That's not who I am. That is exactly who the fuck you are, Lisa. And it's real crazy how you want to gaslight the public, the audience, to make it seem like we haven't seen all that's gone down until now. But I digress. She then adds to that and says she just tries to defend herself and never goes for the jugular first. She only does it when the other person opens that door, and then she takes that chance to do that. Once again, another big ass fucking lie. That is not how things go, Lisa. That is the first thing you go. It's for the lowest blow you can think of. Please stop. Lisa then gives Bronwyn another bullshit whack-ass apology that no one believes. Next! So now Brittany is actually starting to get seasick. She gets up to throw up over the side of the boat. She comes back to sit down, and she takes a shot of tequila, saying that it would make her feel better. And for some reason, in comes Meredith with her 2 cents that nobody asked for. And she's asking her, if you're so sick, why are you drinking alcohol? And Brittany's like, because it makes me feel better. Like, why do you care? And Meredith's like, well, I mean, I don't. I would just say that to my daughter or whoever else. And I'm thinking, if you don't care, again, why are you saying anything, Meredith? Like, you just want to have your 2 cents or say your piece that nobody asked for, and now you're gonna start a problem with Brittany. that you're not ready for, but we'll see. Brittani then takes this opportunity to make a jab at Meredith, and she tells her, well, I actually saw this video on TikTok saying that Seth has some side mistress. This has Meredith pissed, and she's coming at Brittani saying that this is not true. Me and Seth are in a monogamous marriage, unlike you, whose man breaks up with her every time he wants to go sleep with someone else. Okay? She then calls Brittani a lying liar who lies, who is so despicable, and a jealous ass bitch because she can't keep a man. Brittani ignores everything Meredith just said, deflects, goes back to talking about the TikTok video about Seth. That gets Meredith even more pissed. She stands up, she throws her zombie headpiece towards Brittani, and then in her confessional, she could not understand why Brittani is trying to come after her marriage, calls her a miserable bitch, and then says she wants nothing to do with her. She is not here for the nastiness and the rumors. And then we get a little sneak peek into the next episode, and Meredith crashes out. It looks like she's going off, and I cannot wait to see it. How did you feel about this episode? I feel like Brittani is opening a can of worms she is not ready for. Let me know how you feel in the comments down below. If you did like this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!